and cream. It's not gonna break you out or anything.
Okay.
Just helps me glide on it. And what's your name again? I'm so sorry.
Anna.
You did tell me. Anna?
Anna.
Wait, say
Ada.
Ada?
Uh-huh.
Wow, okay.
ADA.
Alright. So we would say, like, here, mostly they would get that wrong, though. Because I've been saying it wrong
Oh my
all
gosh,
my life.
yeah,
Like,
Ada.
Ada,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel
So
like it's another person, so I'm like, it's Ada.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because we don't, and that's a lot of people's names. Like we don't really pronounce anything correctly. Like when I went to this place where you can the oh god, what is it? Like the noodle? We say pho.
Oh yeah, pho, yeah.
But it's really not pho. It's pho.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, really? Where's that A? I don't.
My gosh, pho is amazing.
Yeah, because our friend Jeanette, she's Korean American, so she's like, dude, y'all been saying this for wrong since inception. I'm like, how come you never corrected us? We worked with you for like 10 years now, and you never corrected
They
us.
just like give up. They're like, whatever.
Exactly.
I know. Everything else, I'm like, okay, I won't correct you. But my name, it's like, oh, please say it right.
No, I
I'm just
like
kidding.
the correction. Because I like being, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want
No.
people say stuff about black people all the time. You know, I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, do we all eat fried chicken? I mean, I love chicken, don't get me wrong. Yes, I mean, that is true.
But it's
But
not
it's like, I
yet
don't want to
generalized.
Yeah, I don't want to keep justifying why we eat chicken. Like, it's good. Who doesn't eat chicken?
Right?
I love chicken. Jesus, thank God it's not expensive as seafood.
Oh my goodness.
That would be a real problem.
That would be a real problem, yeah.
Do we drink Kool-Aid all the time? Like, of course, that's what we were raised on. We were raised on caviar and great stuff. Drink something that was affordable.
Right.
Kids love sugar. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Kids just drinking water.
Oh, they'll be bored.
Yeah, we have TV and all that good stuff. Come on. So we had icicles and ice cream, little small stuff to keep us occupied.
I know. TV wasn't like so big back in the day. I mean, it was, but not really. I guess they didn't really have a lot of cartoons going on all the time like they do now. Like there's so many selections now. Like kids don't even know what to watch.
It's so many. You're correct.
I know. Like you put your Netflix account and like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming.
I'm so behind on everything.
Yeah.
It's just like I would literally have to take a month off just to watch.
Yes, yeah.
Be caught up.
Because you start. It's like, do you watch or you sleep?
Right. Yes. I agree. Totally agree. 'Cause I love Netflix. I'm like, wow, I would actually get rid of my cable if Netflix actually had their own internet service.
Yeah, no.
But they don't, so it's like I gotta go through Verizon. I gotta keep them if I want to keep my internet.
I know. Is it cheaper if you just like get rid of the cable? Is it the same? Sometimes it's the same.
Well, I downgraded my channels, so I have HBO still. That's the only movie channel that I have. I was barely watching anything else on Showtime or the movie channel. I mean, yeah, they have good movies. There's the same movies on Netflix. Like, why don't I just pay $10 a month for Netflix instead of paying for Showtime, the movie channel, Stars, Epix? I had like everything.
Right.
And my bill was like $212.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I wasn't watching anywhere near the channel. They gave me like almost 2,000 channels.
Wow.
And I'm like, geez.
Who has time to watch all of that?
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't even know why they come out with those big packages.
Mm-hmm.
Who lives at home? I mean, even if you live at home, I mean, that's just so many channels.
Yes. It's overwhelming, like you said. Yeah, it's too much. Because I think I watch maybe 12 to 15 channels out of all of it. And so I'm like, wow, I'm really spending too much money on stuff I don't watch.
200 is a lot.
Yeah.
But it's either that or you do it with Comcast. It's like Comcast.
Right.
Have you ever been on the phone with a Comcast representative?
Oh, yeah. I had Comcast, Verizon, DirecTV. Think about every cable company there is in Maryland. Just switching back and forth.
I know. And then they sign in this contracts and then they bump the price. Like, so crazy.
Yeah, but I love TV. Don't get me wrong.
But you know, if you think about it, a lot of people are like in the future, they won't be getting any box cables. So everybody was just streaming. All we need is internet. Like,
That's all you need. Oh, yeah. And see, they're scared of that. They already have a plan to stop that. All they're doing is hiking up the internet price. Because I remember internet when I moved to my new home a couple years back. It was like maybe $46, $50, give or
I
take.
remember.
But now it's like $100 by itself. Like it's literally $100. Jeez. So I could actually just get cable is just cheaper than the internet now. Like, why is that? How's that possible?
Wow.
See, they're compensating for people just getting internet. They just hike the price up.
That's crazy.
The internet should never be $100. I'm like, why?
Oh,
Really?
that's a lot. In the area where I live, I can't get internet yet, so it's like, I know. But then I'm thinking, yeah, I know they're coming through, and they're like, talking about big prices. I'm like, okay. They do make their money.
Yeah. That's how they do. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, if I have like money to spend like that, then it's probably beneficial because, like, okay, it's not hurting and I can still have food and refrigerator and stuff like that. But I know some people will pay for cable and not pay for childcare or they won't pay for medicine or something like that.
That is true.
Dang, just to watch sports.
I know. Like, you have to get your priorities right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know several family members who do that. Don't you know you're hard enough to do
Yeah,
what you're
oh my
paying?
gosh.
How much on cable?
Working here, I'll tell you that. Like, people forget about their loans.
Yeah.
I went on vacation. Okay. You couldn't afford a vacation.
But people still make a way out of no way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. It's just too much.
The bills just be piling up.
That's right. That's right.
I used to work for a car insurance, agency for State Farm, and
okay.
it's like insurance is mandatory. Like, you can default on your car loan and it'll just be, going to collections, but like the MBA will get you if you don't have car insurance. Like, you have to have car insurance. But like, you'd be surprised that people don't, like, oh, I just don't want to pay this month. Like, I have something coming up.
Right.
I'm like, really? It's like $150 every time you do that, and then they charge you like 7 days per day.
Jeez.
So yeah, so it adds up.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm like, please pay. Like, I had to call them when they were late. Like, can you please make a payment? I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is mandatory.
What? I was listening to the radio yesterday because I have XM. I love XM radio.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even gone back to regular radio in like 2 years. Ever since I got XM radio.
I never had it. So what's the difference?
Oh my God. It's like the light. Like, there's so many channels that people get, curves. They get to speak their own mind. It's nothing controlled. It's not commercialized.
Oh.
So all the advertisements can't control you, and that's why radio is like kind of controlled because they have advertisements. They have these sponsors tell you like, no, it's family oriented. I want everybody to listen to the radio station, so you got to tone it down. You can't play certain music that has curse word, blah 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 blah. And so that's why even music people like say Nicki Minaj can go an album. Or whoever the artist is, and they have to actually make a hard, explicit version, and then there's a family version to get the most money, because if you want your airplay played on the radio, you gotta have the same version. And so it's like, it's a lot of work. So I understand why artists don't want to keep going in the studio. They have to remix it, they have to re-say their words, it is a lot.
Yeah.
And then they're the words that they tell you can say, or allowable. Wow. So it's like, and to you, you're like, wait a minute, this is not creative control. I don't want to say, what? That's not me. Why would I say that to the world? That makes me look crazy now. So yeah, it's all perception. It's all media control. But XM, you hear everything, even from racist channels to urban channel to politic channel to, anything. Anything you can think of. Yeah, XM radio. Yeah. They say it. And that's why I love it, because like you hear different views from everybody. You hear everybody's channels from Brazil to Mexico to Spain to Italy to Germany. You name it. Like, there's radio stations you can finally hear in Jamaica. I'm like, wow, there's radio called The Joint. It's called Joint, because most Jamaicans smoke heavy ganja, But it's like real music that I've never heard. Like, we think we know about music. There's places they have K-pop channels.
You hear what they want us to hear, pretty much.
I'm like, what is K-pop? And then, because there's somebody arrived that was doing a massage event, and all she wanted to listen to was K-pop. I'm like, what's K-pop? She's like, it's Korean pop. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I turned the channel over to 300, whatever. And she put me onto that. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. So it was like more like EDM, you know, like electronic dance music, you know, because here in like Baltimore, DC, we have house music and go-go.
Oh, okay.
And like Detroit, there's a Detroit station. There's so many stations, and like you can really hear what people are talking about. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know this music existed.
Right, that's crazy.
Because radio will never play that. They never are. Because they have family-friendly advertisers, so they're not gonna put on house music, club music.
That's just, yeah, that's crazy. I know. Television is like that, even worse.
Yeah.
Everything's censored.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know how to like put one ears one way and one channel and then the other one. They do it differently. It's like,
Yeah.
You don't even know who's telling the truth anymore.
And then there's a history channel, not the Discovery History Channel, but there's like a real deal history. They have like morning time to be like from the Catholic Church, like why priests are doing this to people, why they had so much power. They talk about the Illuminati. They talk about African ancestry. They talk about the Jewish Holocaust. I mean, stuff that our history books never will teach you, even in a college, university.
Right.
The professor would get in trouble. They would lose their job if they actually told you certain things. Like, why is Donald Trump actually separating families from each other? It's like there's an agenda behind that. It's not that he woke up one morning and said, hey, I want to just build this damn wall. No, they all sit around, they think. Yeah, it was cutthroat back in those days.
Yeah, it is interesting, like when you look at the history of things like that, or how it came about, or whatever.
So
Mm, this feels so good. Like, oh, I so needed it. My shoulders are just a mess.
Everybody's, like a chair massage, a hot tub.
Yeah.
I need the works. One day I'm going to have it.
Do you all, like, trade with people?
God, those are the good days. When I first worked in massage therapy, yes, we did. But then after a while, oh God, it's
just hard to get people to.
Because even I'm the same way. If I'm working all day and then somebody says, hey, can you really just rub my shoulder? I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, I sigh for a minute. Like, I really don't want to do it. Because I need my shoulders rubbed. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, come on. But, yes.
Yeah, because it's demanding. It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially people that do it, like, all day long.
Yes. Yeah, see, I stopped that madness years ago. Like, I worked at Massage Envy. Massage Envy will work you. There were times where they didn't have, well, legally, they didn't have, well, I know Maryland law says at least 30 minutes if you worked more than 6 hours or something like that. You have to give them 30 minutes.
Right.
But for people who worked under that, yeah, they never give you a break. So you're literally working 6 hours and like,
Yeah,
where's
just
my break?
steady, yeah.
And they will book you back to back to back to back to back, and they know they can get away with it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's one of the places, like you said, people right fresh out of school and they start there and then they maybe build up their clientele, or because that's the hard part, isn't it?
Yes,
that,
it is.
You know, like just trying to get people that come on a regular basis or can come, you know.
It is. Even for those big businesses, it's like, now I understand why they do the cold calling. I see why they, you know, hey, how you doing, Miss Johnson? You know, I've heard from you in a while. Because it's like, yeah, without Miss Johnson, yeah, there is no business. Without, you know, marketing, without putting flyers on cards, without internet. Yeah, you're right. It's the hardest part is client retention, or getting the client and client retention.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And even if they love you, your clients can love you, but they have family and lives in themselves.
Yeah,
so
plus
like,
they got to be able to afford it.
Yeah, exactly. They could be the greatest client in the world, but if they're going through issues just like me and you or anybody else, yeah, it's hard to just come back in and, you know, pay for a service where their phone's about to get cut off or their rent's due.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand, I get it.
Yeah, but it's so worth. We were talking about that the other day. I'm like, there's a woman, and I think she's in this Westminster area, and I said I usually go like Christmas or birthday, like when I get some extra money, you know, I try to do that for myself because I definitely need it. It definitely helps me. like, I don't know, but like at the, yesterday, there were some people either really love it or they don't like it.
I agree. I
I'm like,
totally agree.
who wouldn't want someone rubbing on?
It happens. Trust
But I'm
me, it
surprised,
happens.
yeah.
Uh-huh. And I think it's either the type of person that's giving the massage at the time, or it's
Or
just
maybe
because
they had a
they're not
bad
used to-
experience or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like people were talking, like the chair, I'm like, it's not like you're naked or, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
like, why wouldn't you do that? Oh, I don't know why.
I don't either. And there's huge corporations that sometimes we do like, well, it's like 4 or 5 of us, and there's like 100 people or 150. And out of those 150, at least 20 of them are not going to really enjoy their massage. Or more. It just gives her, give or take. But I'm like, wow, why did she get out of the chair so cranky? Why was he so mean? He's getting hung on by this girl. There's a young lady by the name of Autumn. Autumn is gorgeous. I don't even know why she's a massage therapist. She's 6'4". I'm like, you should be in TV, or I don't know. Like, you should be a business owner. I don't know what you would do. You know, business owner, coach, whatever.
Yeah.
You should not be here. Like, this is, and all the guys, they wait for her. Like, they wait. Even the women, they wait for her. Like, they're I wanted to work with her. I'm like, okay. And we all understand because she's gorgeous. She's beautiful. And there's people who get out of her chair and like, oh my God, I can't believe you went so hard at me. I'm like, really? And guys even, like, they'll get out of the chair all unhappy. I'm like, she's cool. Like, what is
I don't
going
know
on?
how people could not, I don't know, it's just amazing to me, like,
Yeah.
how can people not love that?
I don't know. And it's almost like, even if I say I don't understand it, but if I did understand it, would I be one of those people? Like, I don't want to understand it anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, just have your issues. I'll
Yeah,
be over
just
here.
just stay away,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Take your negative energy.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, so we all get complaints, trust me, from little things to big things to in between things.
Mm.
So it's crazy. I love it. I love massage therapy, but I do want to have my own business to where I can actually take a step back and people will work for me, and I can show up at the events when I need to break or get tired. I can step in.
Yeah.
Because we rarely get a complaint. I've noticed over the years.
Well, that's what this woman that you all work for, this needs, what's it called? Massage needs, or
Mhm.
is that where you're from
Well, actually,
that one?
I think she goes to a different company.
Oh, okay.
We're under Health Fair Plus.
Health Fair
so
Plus.
she'll go through, right, and then she'll just hire.
Because
a certain company.
I was surprised. Well, I think the woman that does your stuff, she's in Roanoke or something, isn't she?
Really? Yeah, Virginia. Yes,
Virginia.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But there's some woman who does another one. She's like in the islands somewhere, and she just organizes it all, and you know, like it goes through Care First or whatever.
See, that's what I want, right. Ultimately, that's exactly what I want. I want to just organize it and go to different states.
Yeah.
There's a lot of businesses that need, and you can offer cheap, not cheap services, but, affordable
Yeah.
pricing. Because there's a mobile spa in Clinton, Maryland, but just for people to come out, they charge a lot of money. Just for one therapist. I'm like, whoa, great. So I see why people don't want to, do this out here, because they're charging an arm and a leg.
Yeah, well, and that's what we are doing, this like through Care First wellness thing, and that's how you all, I guess, are paid by your person or whatever. But people like it so much that we're considering like maybe bringing someone back again or whatever. So maybe I'll get your card and see what goes on with that.
Right, because we're all independent contractors. We all do our own thing. We all have other therapists and stuff like that. And it's just good to give back to your workers. If I had a huge business, I'm like, yeah, I would have an on-call massage therapist because I want people to work productivity to be high.
Yeah, well, that's what we were saying, that like we do it once a year. This is our second year we did it. But boy, people really like it, and we were saying, wouldn't it be nice to, do it twice a year or quarterly or something, just, there was a business, now it was a smaller business across from the Hunt Valley. My friend used to work there, and every Friday they would have chair massages and lattes that the boss would bring in, like do it, and you could get the, the chair massage or the latte, or both, you know, whatever. We were like, oh, that's nice. It was like every Friday. And then the summer they worked different hours, like they could come in early, like they cut their hours back or whatever. It was and I was always like jealous because I'd be like working, you know, across the street. We would go out to lunch. She was like, oh, Friday we get our lattes and our what do you call it, chair massages. It's like, oh, that's nice.
The best. Well, they did a study like years ago, I think it was in UCLA or one of the colleges in California, about how the bigger gifts that people would receive, like a car or a boat or vacation paid for, versus someone's like birthday for like movie tickets or something small like their favorite candy or a small necklace, something tiny, versus the real big item like the car, planes, and blah blah blah. And so the study was like over a couple of years, and they were saying like, do you remember when your boss gave you X, Y, and Z? What gift, you know, was more valuable to you? And they would always pick the smaller gift. There was only a few guys who would pick the car, of course. It was like a nice sports car. Okay, even I would pick that.
If you needed, you really need a new car and you got it,
exactly. But
Yeah.
most people, I think 86% or something like that, chose the smaller gifts.
Huh.
Because it was more memorable. It was more.
Yeah.
I don't really need the big things, like, and that's what corporations do. They give you like a big prize. You got to work towards the bonus. That's
Yeah.
huge. But that's a lot of work to get that. They were just giving these gifts like like you said, every Friday, every whatever.
Yeah.
And a bit more, getting the small things.
Yeah.
Over time, the big things. I was like, you know what? That really does make a difference. Like, people just want to feel like they're valued.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like, I don't really need the whole big vacation thing. Like, if you just actually put more money in my paycheck,
Yeah.
I'll work harder. Like, the
Right.
vacation is only going to last me 3 days
Right.
or whatever. And then I'm back to square one. I got to pay more bills. But yeah, over time, if you just, you know, treat me right, treat your workers right, that'll work
Yeah.
hard for you.
Yeah, that is true. Because then that's the thing, is I think so many companies don't.
No, you don't.
And people don't, you know, and then people won't stay, and same thing, you have more turnover, and it ends up costing you more money in the end.
That's right. That's true. That's right. And the turnover and costs, like, wait a minute, this is actually, I know you guys
Yeah.
probably don't care, but this is actually impacting you for the next 10 years, or when these companies do go bankrupt. I'm like, this is probably why.
Well, and it takes a lot of, like, by the time, I think it's like the salary and a half, or half a year's salary, something, to like train people and get them, you know, because when they come in, even if you're already trained, you're not trained on their ways or their equipment or whatever, and it takes, you know, 6 months kind of
Just the trick, yeah.
to really get someone, you know, to get them up to speed.